Hello.
I'm Patrick. No, wait! I'm Patrick.
And welcome to another video. Back to the old format. None of this sitting down type of stuff. We're standing again because I want to discuss a topic that seems to be going through the motions quite recently, and it's good. And that is renewable energy. Now, renewable energy is using any type of energy in which produces little to no greenhouse gases or carbon pollution, and is usually put into place to remove our carbon footprint. We've got a lot of renewable energy in which we can utilize. Can we utilize? Do we have the technology now to utilize it today, or are we going to have to wait later into the future? But without further ado, let's get started. Roll that intro. So we'll start with the two basics, the two that everybody should know, and that's solar and wind power. Now, solar power, as the name suggests, is we're going to be utilizing the power from the sun, or more scientifically, we're utilizing the nuclear fusion from the sun and storing it in photovoltaic cells in which we can turn it into energy. Now, solar panels are a form of renewable energy. However, the manufacturing process is a little different. So, during the process of solar panels, greenhouse gases tend to be produced, as solar panels are typically made up of silicon. And to get silicon, you need to heat quartz. And when you heat quartz, you usually produce greenhouse gases. You produce sulfur and carbon dioxide. A byproduct of this heating process is sulfur tetrachloride. Now, sulfur tetrachloride, if not handled correctly, can become a really bad air pollutant and can cause irritation on the lungs. If it comes in contact with water, it can produce hydrochloric acid. And if you don't know what hydrochloric acid is, all you need to know is bad news bears.
I'm melting! I'm melting!
But don't fret. Manufacturers of solar panels tend to recycle this byproduct into making more silicon. Don't ask me how they do it, because I don't know. All I know is that they do like to recycle the product, which is good because it removes that harmful effect on the environment and on humans. So, while solar panels are a renewable source of energy, the manufacturing process is a little bit hit and miss, but since 2016 there has been a decline in the amount of greenhouse gases produced during the manufacturing process, and it is in a steady decline as of today. So who knows, in the future, solar panels, the manufacturing of solar panels will probably have limited greenhouse gases and limited effect on our carbon footprint. So wind power, not much I can really say here. It's pretty straightforward. You've got a big wind turbine. That wind turbine is, as the name suggests, captures the wind and turns it into electrical energy. However, the problem with wind power is you can't really utilize it a lot, in a sense that you can't power a lot of modern homes efficiently. A lot of people use wind turbines to power water and to power milling processes in farms. And another major factor in wind energy is you need a lot of land to build the wind turbines, because they are massive. Now, with this land, it's typically built uphill, where a lot of the wind is taken. And this is strategically placed because you want to acquire the most amount of wind at that time to get the most energy to power all your equipment. And herein lies the problem. Herein lies the problem. If we're having a bunch of wind turbines placed uphill where a lot of the wind currents travel, bird migratory patterns may tend to be affected. Foraging may also tend to be affected with the disruption of the land around the wind turbines. Now, this isn't 100% set in stone. We're not entirely sure bird migratory patterns will be affected by wind turbines, but a lot of biologists and environmental planners have said that this thinking needs to be taken into account when placing wind farms. Alright, wave energy. This is the one that I believe will be the most effective and most efficient form of renewable energy if we can get it right. The current commercial utilization of wave energy is in its infancy, and the ocean environment is not really a forgiving place. And what I mean by that is it's very, very difficult to keep equipment stable and fresh in that environment. In fact, a lot of the technologies that we've tested today have failed, I guess, the long-term upkeep in the environment. One idea mimics a carpet, and it's called sea carpet. Go figure. And what happens is this sea carpet will flex with the waves, and there are pistons placed underneath the carpet. So I guess it'd be like, say this is carpet, you got your pistons underneath. Every time a wave will hit, the carpet will flex, pushing the pistons up and then back down. That is going to generate energy. A full-sized sea carpet, which is roughly 10 by 12 meters, is expected to produce 500 kilowatts of power. That's a lot of power. Per hour, I should say. 500 kilowatts per hour. We just need to figure out how we're going to utilize it and how we're going to get the technology to last longer. One problem is that the manufacturing of it, putting it in, is very noisy at the start. Afterwards, not so noisy. Also, they're not entirely sure if placing these, I guess, machinery underwater is actually going to have a huge effect on the environment, because we haven't gotten to that stage yet. Okay. Lastly, I want to just quickly brush over nuclear power.
You serious?
I wanted to dabble into this because it seems to be a very hot topic for some reason, for reasons that escape me. I don't understand why it's become such a hot topic, but it has. And I want to get into the crux of it all and break it down and tell you that we should not be thinking about using nuclear power at any point in our lives. The pros. High energy output. You really only need probably one reactor to power an entire city. 2. Lowest producer of greenhouse gases out of coal and fossil fuel. Pretty easy to beat. I mean, we've got renewable energy for that. Anyway, thirdly, it's relatively inexpensive once it's up and running. Okay, so they're pretty much the pros of nuclear power. Let's move over to the cons. Nuclear fuel. So this is typically a byproduct of nuclear power, and nuclear fuel takes hundreds to thousands of years before it's even considered to be environmentally stable. And during that period, it needs to be stored, and this is stored in specialized storage areas or chambers, I would assume they are, over time. History. If you don't know, Chernobyl. I don't think I need to say any more than that. 2011 Fukushima, I think? I can't remember. But in 2011, the tsunami that hit Japan, that was devastating to say the least, destroyed a nuclear power plant, and while casualties were very low, the area is still uninhabited by humans. You can't go there because it is very, very radioactive. But hey, let's just put up power plants anyway. It is not a source of renewable energy. And what I mean by that, and you're probably like, no, Zach. What I mean by that is uranium is finite. It's expected that we're going to run out of our uranium sources in 30 to 60 years. So utilizing that and putting up power plants is probably not a smart idea. Number 4, last but not least, power in the wrong hands. I probably don't need to say much, and all I'll say is nuclear technology. My opinion of this all is that if we want to utilize renewable energy, I would say solar, wind power, and wave energy. If we can utilize all 3, we will be set. Hope you guys enjoyed that. It was kind of left field for me. I thought of this yesterday and figured, why not do this? So I did. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like and subscribe. Hit that button either side. Make sure you educate, don't eradicate. Check out Cape Clasp. Description down below. 15% of all their proceedings go towards non-profit organizations, so make sure you check them out. #RapGod. I will see you all in another time, and I will catch you next Wednesday.